All right, got a new old video today. We had a video for doing some of our, what we call in-house small rollers, but the video was very old in our very old little workshop, and I thought it needed updating. Some of the things changed a little bit since then, but before we get too far, Hunterworks belts, best on the planet. Check them out. Also make sure you subscribe and like. And for kicks, I think this may be the first time I mentioned in a video, check out our other YouTube channel, Hunterworks Outdoors. You get to see a little bit of what Hunter and I do over at our property. And make sure you subscribe and like over there too. Anyway, in-house, what we call small rollers. Why we call them small rollers in-house? Because we have two rollers and they're two different sizes. So the larger will be for the 2016 and newer razors, etc., that have square pucks, and the small rollers are pretty much going to fit anything else. So if yours came with round rollers in it from the factory, what we call small rollers are going to fit it. You can always look at the description where you see the smaller rollers, tells you every year model they fit. So today we needed to build up a secondary clutch for RZR XP 900, and I was like, well, today's a good day to do this video. So let's just shoot on to it. Actually, I had to assemble this one, and basically I'm just going to turn around and disassemble it and put the other roller in there. So let's get started. So first thing we're using is our Hunterworks spring compressor, and we're going to set your secondary clutch on it. Again, I just like to kind of put it on our compressor to give me a good foundation. You're going to need it in a minute anyway. All right, these screws have Loctite on them. I rarely use a torch. I get a little small torch. If they're really struggling to get out, you want to heat those screws up and melt that Loctite. Now I use a Milwaukee Impact and a T25 bit, and I put a lot of downward pressure on it. Kind of feather the trigger. This one's only got 2 in it because, like I said, it's a brand new clutch. So again, downward pressure, get the bit in there right, and just kind of hit it, and then come on out with it. So once you got all 4, take your helix, it'll turn and set it off to the side. Okay. Now we're going to turn our clutch to you where you can get to the snap ring. You're going to put your bail, little plastic spacer, and your handle on. Okay, now it is possible, and I don't want to confuse anybody. It is possible to put rollers in without taking it completely apart, but it gets to be a problem with the roll pin, and if you accidentally knock one out, you're in a mess. So it's just better to go ahead and do it with a compressor. All right, so basically you're just going to get this pressure off this snap ring a little bit. Take the snap ring pliers, 90-degree bent. People say, what brand? They're Nipex, spelled with a K. I got them on Amazon. And take the snap ring loose. All right. I also would mark with a marker. There's no camera angle here, but that you could see, but on our shaft, I would put a mark on the shaft and a mark down on the dampener so you can easily line it back up. Takes a little second there to get your handle off. Be careful, it will fly off if you let it fly there. Set it to the side. Take your dampener off. It is 3 pieces. Sometime inside will come out. Set it over the side. Take your spring out. Set it up. Pick it up. All right. Like I said, I've already done one of these. I was showing one of the employees here how I do this particular one, so I did one. So we got one left to do. You're going to need an 1/8 inch roll pin punch. Okay. So what you're doing is you're going to get it right in here, and I always get it started where I can hands free, and then I have to turn it around where you can kind of see on the camera. Watch that pin come out. I wish I was left-handed for this, but I tap it till it's almost out. You kind of see I won't be able to do that or I'll mess up. All right, there we go. And you can kind of see that amount. I take a pair of pliers, and if I can turn it, that means that I've knocked enough of it out. I can pull the shaft out. Pull it out, set your old one to the side, grab your new one, put the shaft back in. If you've never let go of it, there's a flat spot here. It'll go to the outside. If you let go of it, then obviously just get it in that position, turn it kind of flat. At this point, I take my roll pin punch and kind of line the holes up. Don't tap too hard, or you will knock it back out. Flip it back over. I take a old bigger punch here. It's actually upside down, as you see. I don't wore the tip out of it. Tap it down in place. Now we do give you 2 new roll pins. That doesn't mean you have to use them. They're there if you want to use them, or if you knock one out or damage them. But me, I rarely ever replace roll pins. I just try to almost knock them out, okay? So we got our new rollers in. Put it back on the spring compressor. I always turn my X on the secondary towards me. Drop my spring in. Get my dampener. Set it on there with your mark back towards you. Set your snap ring on top. Bell on top. Spacer. Handle. Hopefully you picked up what I said earlier for video purposes. I only did 1 roller, there's 2. This one already had 1 in it from where I was showing one of the guys here. Okay, get it on down. Let's see, now I can get my marks lined up. And again, bad camera angles, you ain't gonna be able to see it, but your mark is here and your mark is there, and then your X is here. So it's kind of an alignment deal. Because there's a solid tooth in there and it won't go, so don't force it till you get it. There it went. See, there's a solid tooth in there, and it has to be in the right spot. Okay. All right. Grab your snap ring pliers. Put it back in the groove. Get the pressure off. Snap ring catches it. Love those Hunterworks spring compressors where you can just let it fly. Slide it off. I usually like to take this roller, here's our X, and turn it just a little bit to the right of the X, so that when you're putting your helix back in, that it's easy to line up with the holes. There is an X on the helix here, X here. Now look at there, all lined up. Take your 4 screws. They're gonna have a little bit of Loctite on them if it's brand new. If it's old, I would suggest using some blue Loctite on them. These already have some on them. And like I said, this is a brand new clutch. I know there's probably a torque spec on these screws. I've never torqued any. Please don't. That's when people break them on these, it seems like. Just have some real good finger control. We have this Milwaukee. It's a 3 settings, and we use number 2. And once again, you just kind of finger control. Go to the opposite side. Back to your first one. And that's it. You got a completed secondary clutch with 2 new Hunterworks rollers that won't flat spot in it. We're ready to go. Don't forget the belt. Got questions, shoot me an email, todd@hunterworks.com. Again, check out our Hunterworks Outdoors new YouTube channel. Thank you guys.